You know the rules, you know the lifelines. Let's play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? First question. On average, how many Americans became a millionaire each day last year? 10, 100, 1,000, or mitochondria? D, mitochondria, final answer? I'm so sorry. You are the weakest link. The tribe has spoken. You're fired. And for those reasons, I'm out. Correct answer, 1,000 Americans reached millionaire status every day in 2024 on average. And in today's video, we're going to look at some of the data that explains how. By the end, you'll know exactly how you can build a seven-figure net worth too. So first, let's unpack this research a little bit so we understand exactly what we're working with here. The study we're looking at today comes to us courtesy of the fine folks at UBS, an investment bank and financial services company, not to be confused with IBS, UPS, or VBS. All of which I want nothing to do with. Packages, get him out of here. The kids, get him out of here. IBS, don't have time for that. BS. Cut the I. Can't spell IBS without BS. There is a lot of S in both, though. Marked, not safe for homeschoolers.
Not safe for homeschoolers.
Every year, UBS publishes a global wealth report that shows the big picture on global wealth. Who's building it, where it's going, and why it matters. It's like a financial weather forecast, just without the green screen and hairspray.
Oh, I'm gonna have to change. Look at this.
And one of the biggest takeaways from the 2025 edition was that 379,000 Americans became net worth millionaires last year. Now, divide that out by 366 days, since 2024 was a leap year, and boom, over 1,000 new millionaires each day throughout the year. But the study didn't stop there. It also dug into the why. Specifically, UBS's data hints at 4 major reasons behind so many people hitting the millionaire milestone in 2024. Here they are. Reason number 1, a strong economy and a reliable dollar. Here's a quote from page 9 of the study in case you didn't read it on your own time. Quote, strong financial markets in the United States coupled with a stable currency are what drove North America's wealth growth last year. So when the economy's doing well and the value of the dollar is stable, it creates a solid foundation, which is exactly what you want when you're trying to grow your money. Think more Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson versus Kim and Kanye. Okay, here's why. A strong economy makes investors more willing to put money into the market, and it makes people feel more comfortable making long-term financial plans like buying a home or funding retirement. Moving on to reason number 2, real estate values went up. This one is actually the biggest factor that pushed people over that 7-figure threshold. As UBS puts it, quote, the increase in real estate values is the most significant factor driving the growth in everyday millionaires across the world. Translation, the house your grandparents bought for a handshake and a bag of Werthers is now worth $500,000. So far in 2025, home prices have actually been fairly stable. But the last few years, we're talking mega growth. From June 2021 to June of 2025, the median home listing price in the US grew by over 16%. Now, obviously, that's bad news for anyone trying to become a homeowner for the first time. But for people who already own a home, it's a major boost to their net worth. And this is something I can relate to. I got my first townhome with my wife back in 2019. That house appreciated greatly through the pandemic into 2022, and we sold at almost double what we bought it for. That's pretty sweet. Now, the next house we bought also sold for almost double. So, in the end, it's a wash. But still, a nice boost to the net worth. Reason number 3 so many millionaires were created last year? Slow and steady investing. According to UBS, in the United States, securities and other financial instruments account for over 1/3 of all investments, by far the highest proportion. End quote. Now, financial instruments sounds like the world's most boring garage band made up of brokers and accountants. But in this context, the term just refers to market-based investments like stocks, bonds, index funds, and mutual funds. Which means that a lot of people are becoming millionaires thanks to the stock market. Here's the thing though, most millionaires are not making their gains in the stock market by day trading or investing in single stocks they have a good feeling about. Okay, that's not a wealth building strategy. That is a bubble that will burst faster than a scale when your mom steps on it.
As I walk through the valley.
George, stop.
Instead, the typical millionaire's investing strategy is actually pretty boring. When our research team at Ramsey surveyed over 10,000 millionaires, 8 out of 10 said investing in their employer-sponsored retirement plan was a key driver for building their wealth. Which is great news because it means you don't need some kind of risky or complicated investing plan to build wealth. All it takes is consistency and patience. Now finally, reason number 4 so many people became millionaires in 2024? Entrepreneurship, a fancy French word for business stuff. Now, it's important to note that owning a business isn't even close to being the most common reason people build wealth in the US. That said, the data does point to business ownership and growth creating some of these new millionaires. And the most likely group to own a business? The same generation that brought you avocado toast, burnout, and the phrase, I did a thing. That's right, I'm talking about my millennials, my people.
Let my people go.
Here's what the study says. They boast the highest proportion of investment in private businesses, perhaps indicating an entrepreneurial streak. Which, much to my chagrin, is not when you start a GoFundMe to run across campus in the buff.
That's disgusting.
The important thing to note here is that owning a business or even investing in one is not for everyone. Heck, it's not for me. I tried. Here's my appearance from Shark Tank. Hello, sharks. What if I told you that every single month Americans lose hundreds of dollars and they don't even realize it? And that's why I created a powerful system called a budget. So instead of wondering where your money went, you take control of it. You give every dollar a job before the month begins. Any questions? Kevin, are you in?
It's one of the worst ideas I've ever seen. I'm out.
Brutal. I thought I had Barb in the third quarter, but man, it wasn't enough to sell her on the budget. But young entrepreneurs who start a business and succeed do get rewarded financially. So if you're thinking of going down that road and you can do it without taking on debt or making your kids go hungry, it may be worth a shot. So, to sum it all up, the surge in new millionaires in the US in 2024 was primarily driven by a solid economy, appreciation in real estate values, and strong stock market performance. And if there's one theme here, it's that being a millionaire does not require some kind of wacky harebrained plan that you found on TikTok. It also doesn't require winning the lottery, getting a huge inheritance, or writing a viral song about looking forward to the weekend. For the most part, the 1,000 people a day who became millionaires in 2024 did so by taking simple steps that anyone can follow. And the data is clear. Anyone can become a millionaire in America today, regardless of their gender, skin color, socioeconomic background, or whether they can even spell socioeconomic without using autocorrect. You just have to follow a 3-step plan, which I'll explain in just a moment. But first, allow me to explain something that's had a major impact on my personal comfort, and that's using the cuddle blanket from Cozy Earth, a sponsor of today's video. It's super fun to say and even more fun to use. It's the softest thing you'll ever feel. And when you pair that blanket with Cozy Earth's equally soft bed sheets made of premium viscose from bamboo, you'll never want to leave your bed. In fact, we gotta put a disclaimer right here. Warning, you may never leave your bed if you use Cozy Earth bed sheets with the cuddle blanket. And right now, Cozy Earth is offering you 40% off when you go to cozyearth.com/George and use promo code George at checkout. You can also use the link in the description. Always be cozy. Okay, here's your 3-step plan to becoming a millionaire. Step number 1, get $1 billion. Step number 2, invest in crypto. Step 3, you'll eventually have $1 million. I'm kidding.
I think you might be serious.
Okay, here's your 3-step plan to becoming a millionaire. Step number 1, invest in the stock market. Once you're debt-free and you have a full emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses, begin investing 15% of your income for retirement each month in a tax-advantaged account like a 401k or a Roth IRA. Because again, that's what most millionaires are doing. That's how they're really doing it in real life. And as for which investments you should choose, I recommend picking mutual funds with a long track record. Now, if that last sentence sounded like a foreign language, no worries. I'll drop a link in the description to a free investing guide that breaks down all the ins and outs of mutual funds and everything else you need to know about saving for retirement. It's a completely free investing guide, link below. Step number 2, buy a house, eventually. Now let me go ahead and stop you before you go to the comments section, ranting about how houses are expensive and you'll never be able to afford one. You remember like 5 minutes ago when we talked about how much more expensive houses have gotten in the last few years? You think old George forgot about that? He's still sharp up here. He's not Bidening quite yet.
Should make the American people question whether their governments will make sure that this is acting when it strikes, they'll be there.
Looky here. I am well aware that home ownership is out of reach for a lot of you as things currently stand. But the data we looked at earlier is clear. Home appreciation is one of the biggest factors driving these new millionaires. So instead of doom scrolling Zillow and stealing your own hope, what if you set a long-term plan to buy a house in, say, 5 years? If you start saving now and work on increasing your income, you may be surprised by how much progress you make. And finally, step number 3, give it time. This is the part no one wants to hear, but becoming a millionaire is not an overnight thing. It often takes decades. You gotta let it cook. It takes time for compound growth to take hold and build the wealth for you. It's not sexy. But you know what is sexy? Being a millionaire. And I'm living proof of that. All right, in certain countries, this is considered a delicacy. Peak male performance even. Double dare you, go to Micronesia, show them a picture of me. They'll say, wow.
George, please, I'm in no mood.
I'm actually average height in Micronesia. Do you know that? That's my Trump right there. Here's the deal, though. You'll never build wealth if you fall for this money trap that is literally wrecking millions of lives and bank accounts each year. I broke down what's going on in this video. You can click here to watch it or use the link in the description. That's it for today. If you learned something, if you enjoyed it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share the video with 1,000 of your friends, aka future millionaires. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.